How much water should you be drinking? Have you heard about that whole 8 glasses a day? Well, is that right? Is that a good starting point? What about athletes? If you're working out, do you only have to drink 8 ounces? Can you just drink until like when you're thirsty, or do you need to keep drinking beyond that? Well, I'm Coach Cassandra. I'm going to answer all these questions and more, so stay tuned. Coach Cassandra here. Welcome to another video. All right, so first let's talk about the health benefits of water. Your body is made up of 60% of water, right? So all of your cells, your tissues, your organs, all require water to work properly. Water helps get rid of waste through urination, perspiration, and bowel movements. It keeps your temperature normal. It lubricates and cushions all of your joints. And it protects sensitive tissues. Now, lack of water can lead to dehydration, a condition that occurs when you don't have enough water, right? Even mild dehydration can cause you to have low energy. So water is super important just for your overall health. Every day you lose water through urination, bowel movements, sweating. For your body to function properly, you must replenish the water supply by consuming beverages and foods that contain water, such as, watermelon contains a huge amount of water, right? These recommend, about 20% of your daily fluid will actually come from your food. So you need to make sure that the other 80% comes from drinking water. Now, most healthy people can actually stay adequately hydrated by just listening to their body. If you feel thirsty, grab a sip of water, right? However, if you feel like you haven't been drinking enough and you are hungry, that can actually be that you are thirsty. So try drinking a full glass. I'm talking a full glass of water before you start to eat if you've already eaten like a meal. Now, a couple of factors that influence how much water you need to be drinking is something like exercise, right? You need to have drinking a full glass of water before you exercise, maybe drinking a whole glass of water or some kind of beverage during your exercise, and then again after. You're going to be sweating a lot through your exercise. So you need to have that water already in your body to sweat out. And then as you're sweating, you need to put in fluids to keep that sweating. And then afterwards, you've just depleted a whole bunch of water. So you need to refuel yourself with more water. Now, what about the environment that you live in? If you live in dry, hot heat or even humid heat, you need to have more water because you are naturally sweating throughout the day. Even if you don't feel like you are, such as like when you're in those humid areas, you definitely need to have more water. You are sweating, I promise you. Now, some icky things, if you have diarrhea, if you're vomiting, obviously you're gonna need to up your fluids. If you have a fever, which is super common right now, you need to up your fluids just to stay adequately hydrated, okay? That's gonna help get your fever down. Of course, if you're vomiting and you've got diarrhea, you definitely need to increase that fluid because you're passing so much of it. So if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, yep, you need to increase your fluids, right? It kind of makes sense right there. You got a baby living in water. You want it to have a lot of water to be able to drink and to replenish the water that it's hanging out in all day. You also, if you're breastfeeding, of course, you want to produce more milk. You need to have water so that you are constantly producing more milk. All right, now what about things that are not water but contain water, such as coffee, tea, milk? Let's start with those three things: coffee, tea, and milk. Now, coffee actually dehydrates you. So if you have 1 cup of coffee, you need to have a cup of water just to create balance between the two. All right. So your cup of coffee is not adding fluids to you. Even if you add milk to it, it is dehydrating you. So you need to have a cup of coffee. So if I have a day where I'm having 2 cups of coffee, I have my cup of coffee, I have a glass of water, full glass. Then I have a cup of coffee, and then another full glass of water, okay? Just to balance out your hydration. And then on top of that, well, I didn't add to my hydration, nor did I deplete it if I just had that cup of water and cup of coffee ratio, right? So now I need to keep on adding that water, okay? You need to think about that when you're drinking your cup of coffee. Tea. Tea is wonderful. Iced tea, hot tea, you're just flavoring your water. So you're good to go there. You can, if you are not a water drinker, if you need some flavor and you really like tea, that's a great one. So go ahead, add your tea to your water and you can count that as a glass of water. Now, what about milk? Milk is good. It has plenty of water in it and it's got a bunch of nutrients in it. Now, I'm not a cow's milk person. I am vegan, so I promote almond milk, soy milk, coconut milk, whichever your preference is. And those are primarily water. So those are great alternatives and they also give you that. But just you need to make sure that you are looking at your calorie content. So if you are on a calorie restrictive diet, then you need to make sure you're counting those calories towards it. Otherwise, if you're just drinking to be drinking for a normal healthy hydration, those are great alternatives to water. All right, let's talk sports drinks and coconut water. What about those? You hear that those are super hydrating, and yes, they are. But are they necessary to your hydration? No. Even if you're only working out for like a half an hour, they're not necessary for you. If you are an endurance athlete or you're going out to be working out for longer than 1 hour, whether that's cumulative or all at once, yes, you're definitely going to want a sports drink, some kind of electrolytes, some sodium into your water, okay? Those are great for ultra marathoners, everything like that. That is definitely something necessary. But if it's your average person and you're just thinking, oh, I'm going to have coconut water because it's double hydrating, it's not necessary. It's really only when you need those electrolytes, that's when it's necessary. All right, how do you know that you're actually getting enough water? Is there a number for it? Is there the 8 glasses a day? No, there is no exact science to tell you you need X amount of water. It's all going to depend on you. You need to look in the toilet after you urinate and look at what color it is. The paler the yellow, the more translucent the yellow, the better hydrated you are. That means you're doing great. If it is a really bright yellow, something like that, ooh, girl, you need more water in your diet. All right? You want a nice, pale, clear, yellowy urination. All right? The clearer, the better. Now, is it possible to drink too much water? I hear drinking, your body weight in ounces of water is too much. Okay, yes, it is possible to drink too much water, although it is super uncommon. When your kidneys can't excrete the excess water, the sodium content in your blood actually becomes diluted. This can actually be life-threatening, but it's super uncommon, okay? Like, I wouldn't worry about it in your daily life. It would be like you drinking, guzzling water. All right, don't worry about it, but it is something to be aware of. Well, that's all I got for you today on water. If you like this video, make sure you click that like and subscribe button down below so that you get notifications of all my future videos. Coming up next, I'm actually going to talk to you about MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. It's the hot thing right now to put in your coffee, to have as a supplement. I'm going to talk to you about it, what it is, and why it's important or why it's not important. So stay tuned. Bye.